to the cloud. Welcome, everybody, to this week's KubeVirt community meeting. It is the 29th of July, 2026, wherever and whenever you are at the moment watching this, maybe even on the YouTube. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We'll get right into this. I am very disorganized at the moment because I've been pretty much out all week. So apologies in advance. Our schedule is, we are going to check this. I don't know if Lupo is here or Federico or anyone else that knows the status of the 1.9 release, which ran into some issues last week.
Okay, Luba's not here. I'm going to take his place. Yeah, I mean, we had issues last week, but we finally handled to keep it going. So yeah, we did our RC2 yesterday, and we are performing the GA today. So it is still ongoing. I don't know because it's Luba that is going to handle that. So I don't know if it is already doing it or he will do it later. But definitely we are going to release today. And of course, yeah, perfect. Andrew.
Sorry, I just talked. I was muted and now I'm unmuted. Did you want to add something?
Yeah, I just would like to point out that, of course, also the CDI release has been delayed due to the KubeVirt delay. So I agreed with Alex that he is going to release CDI next week.
Right on. So everything's been pushed back by exactly 1 week. And yeah, thank you very much. And we will send out an email on the mailing list when that does go out.
Yeah, thank you.
I have not had a chance to update this. KVM forum is still open. KubeVirt Summit has closed. However, hopefully you saw my email yesterday about KubeVirt Summit Live. So for anyone who has plans on attending the KubeCon North America, that is an in-person event. I know it's like very close to our KubeVirt Summit and they use the same names and I can imagine it gets a little bit confusing with CFPs closing and opening around the same time, but that's what's going on. So KubeVirt Summit, this guy, virtual event, CFP has closed. That's what we were just discussing. And the KubeVirt Summit Live is open until it's about 2.5 weeks, I think. Yeah. And so again, if you have plans to be in or near KubeCon North America in November, so that's the 12th to the 14th off the top of my head. Down here, 12th to the 15th of November, Salt Lake City. Then please submit a talk for that. And I'll add that when I get a chance. And a quick look at our calendar. What's going on? So tomorrow it is our Accelerated Infrastructure Enablement Working Group time. And then let me jump ahead into August. It is our VEP discussion week happening on Tuesday. And also it is before the community meeting next week, we'll also have our DRA meeting. That's odd. I thought it was an hour before, but I guess not. Anyway, let's go to here. Now, normally we like to start our meetings by welcoming new people, but I glazed right over it. So if anyone is new at the moment, this meeting and would like to take a minute just to introduce themselves to the rest of us, then by all means.
Um, I guess this is the first time I'm joining this meeting. My name is Catherine. I'm part of the confidential compute team at AMD. I'm a teammate of Alan, who had asked me to join this meeting. So it's nice to meet everyone.
Welcome. Wonderful to have you here.
Thanks.
Um, I speaking of the confidential computing meeting, I had is Fan here? I've lost my participant screen. Ben reached out saying that it had been a few weeks since there wasn't much attendance at confidential computing, and they were interested in getting that going again. And so it won't be next week, but the following week. If you haven't been attending the confidential computing meeting because it hasn't been greatly attended, we're hoping to change that. So please attend if you've got an interest in the confidential computing working group.
Okay.
Is anyone else here who is new to this meeting and would like to take a second to introduce themselves?
Hey, I can get started. So my name is Arunesh. I'm from the VMware now Broadcom. Just starting because we have been working on VMs for a little bit as VMware, and you guys are the resident experts for VMs on Kubernetes. So I'm just trying to join the meeting, see how we can contribute here. So everybody,
Welcome.
thank you.
And good things come in threes. Is there anyone else here who is new and likes to take a minute to introduce themselves? All righty. Okay, so let's get on to the agenda. Welcome to Catherine and Anush. It's really wonderful to have you here. If you do have anything that you'd like to add to our agenda, you're more than welcome to throw it on. If you find that you can't edit the document, if you go to the very top, you'll see if you join our KubeVirt dev mailing list, that'll give you access rights. And you're welcome to throw things on even during the meeting as they come up. Also, if you need attention on pull requests or anything like that, yeah, there's some slots here. Daniel, you've got some points here.
Hey, yeah, basically, this is like a discussion starter. So the background of this point is, we had initially a bunch of problems with SV90X unit test failures, which blocked the mergers after the. So basically, the issue was there were SV90X clusters down. We had to disable the lane. Then some merge was done, and then a fault failing test was introduced. The PR for fixing that has already been merged. However, I think there is a bunch of questions around that, at least from my point of view. I've been hearing like back and forth on opinions around unit tests. I will put up mine first. So my opinion on unit tests is that unit tests run in isolation, which means basically totally independent from the operating system. That's why my issue with these unit test lanes, which we have for right now 3 different architectures, is that basically these aren't unit tests anymore. These are integration tests. And this is just like maybe something like just like a nitpicking or something like that. The bigger issue I see is that we need a process on somehow what happens when a cluster is down, which has a required lane on it, and we disable the lane, and then something gets merged that breaks actually, which is the situation that I'm describing right now. So I have like a suggested change, which I just want to bring. Jan, I'm sorry, but I'll just want to finish my point. So I have a process change for that. I would say if a unit test lane that is basically is getting optional or disabled, that is basically like unit tests are the essential tests that we are running. I mean, EP tests are also essential, but unit tests, because they are fast, they deliver the most value, in my opinion, because they are the fastest and you have the fastest feedback. So my thinking is that if a unit test lane is being optional or disabled of these 3 lanes, no merging should be done. That's basically my proposition on that. I just wanted to ask for opinions on that topic. So yeah, Jan, since you had your hand raised, please go.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to first comment on the why are unit tests platform dependent part, because I've merged a lot of, I made a lot of refactoring on the Arch specific codes. And whenever we did that, we tried to make it as independent as possible by just adding the architecture as a variable. But some parts of the code still depend on runtime.go arch to determine architecture. I think mostly likely in Virt Launcher, but might have also been in other architectures from time to in other parts from time to time. But yeah, I think we should come up with a list of test lanes we want to absolutely not merge anything or block on if we don't have them available. Some sort of not required but critical lanes, because some of the lanes fail from time to time. So we can't, every required lane, we can't run all of them all the time. But some basics we should say, if we don't have this, we don't feel confident merging anything. That's my opinion.
Yeah, basically, I agree. As I already said, I think we are, maybe I didn't get your point, but I think like that we agree on this. So I just wanted to get enough opinion so that we can make a process on that. So you're saying that basically, if there is specific lanes that are failing, we must stop the merging. Yeah, so that's a good thing, I think, to do. Do we then would we then say that any unit test lane that has like that has also like an arch suffix somehow would be also like a required lane, so that if any of these goes away, as I proposed before, would you agree that we need to stop the merging? Or
I think for now, yes, because there is just some things we can test in a unit test only on one architecture. And it just makes sense because that's the most basic functionality. If we break that, we already know we have a problem.
Yeah, sense. Any other opinions on that? I just see people typing +1 on below the suggestion. So yeah, I think if the large majority doesn't say anything, I think this is the silent consensus. Okay, I'll get back to the CXCI and we'll try to somehow figure out how we can do that. Thanks.
Thanks, Daniel. Onto our open floor. I just quickly added these now. So this is an FYI. This is from our mailing list. Actually, both of these things are from our mailing list. A deprecation notice of the NAD query. So this, and I should have also put a note to the beta on by default, like a river name. So the 1.9 enables beta feature gates by default. And so we've put out this announcement a couple of times in the lead up to the 1.9 release. It's a relatively large change. Do not skip version 1.8 if you're on 1.7, is I think short, because it introduces the disable beta feature gates. Jump in anytime if I'm getting this wrong, by the way. And one of the feature gates that's going to be brought in is this NAD one, as the NADs, I believe, are being graduated in 1.10. If I capture the crux of this?
Yes, and it's important to emphasize that before upgrading, sorry for the noise, before upgrading to the 1.9 release, in case you are using Bridge Marker, MacVTAP, SRIOV, or any other secondary network contraption that uses the resource annotation on the network attachment definition object, please deploy the network resources injector component on your cluster before upgrading to release 1.9. And the same goes for release 1.10, on which this functionality will be removed from KubeVirt.
Thank you very much for jumping in and rescuing me. And I was here. Yeah, this is just information for the KubeVirt Summit live at KubeCon. So there's the CFP close date and the submission form itself. We're at the end of our people are adding +1s. Please continue to do so. Does anyone have anything else that they would like to add before we close up this week? Any questions, comments, concerns? Hopefully not.
I just would like to add that even if we did not yet released the 1.9, we are fully in the 1.10 schedule. So please fill up your web and ask for reviewers if you need. Because I'm not saying that we are still late, but kinda. So the deadline should be the 2nd of September. So there is also the summer breaks for most of the people. So yeah, keep it in mind while building web.
That's a great point as well. Yeah, the closing VEP date for 1.10 summer, which I think was an issue that we talked about release 3 ago, which was also impacted by summer breaks. And we talked about this in the unconference, I think, as part of a bit of a retrospective with regards to VEPs. Yeah, please be under no illusion that if you put in a VEP 2 days before the VEP deadline, that it's not going to make it. There needs to be an adequate amount of review time between your VEP submission and the VEP deadline date. And if you have any questions about that or concerns, then please attend the VEP meeting next week, next Tuesday. Thank you. Federico, the 1.10 schedule, has that been posted, or is that still
posted and not merged yet, actually? Waiting for your feedback.
Fair enough. Yeah, right. When I'm able to come back, I'll get that a look and we can start paying attention to it. But as you said, it was the 2nd of September for VEP closure, and then I think the start of mid-October for code freeze. Am I remembering? With the 16th of November release date?
I don't recall right now. I need to check back the schedule.
Fair enough. Next week, we'll be looking at the 1.10 schedule, and we hope to have the 1.9 release out today. All right, I've taken up enough of your time. Thank you, everybody. Oh, wait, well, does anyone else have anything they'd like to throw in at the end just before we finish up today? All right, you lovely people. Thank you very much for attending this, and thank you for everything that you're out there doing for KubeVirt and the community. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day and hope to see you again next week. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.